You need some help, don't you?
I'm never gonna make it without you.
What?
The swag bags.
Oh,
Swag bags.
swag bags.
Yeah.
You can't just stuff them. They're swag bags. We have to make them nice.
Okay, so what would you suggest?
Just give it to me, Calvin.
I'm sorry, say what?
The bags? Just give me the bags?
Oh, the bags.
All right, House of Payne fans. Actually, this is kind of a throwback video to last week's episode, season 11, episode 4, entitled H.O. Hate. Now, so far this season, and this isn't a complaint about the season so far, it's just that none of the episodes have really been, I guess you could say, chalked with enough substance to do follow-up. I think the only follow-up videos I've done are kind of like, discussion videos after an episode was simply the I do believe Janine. It would have been better if she had been, killed off. But other than that, each episode has been pretty straightforward. Episode 2 was Lisa determining what major to pursue in college or community college, I believe. And Bagman was simply Curtis getting the food truck and, Calvin dealing with the social media app. But episode 4, aside from the return of Cheryl Pepsi Riley to a Tyler Perry project, not much to talk about. But there were some photos that were released from the official House of Payne social media pages that display what, to me, and I actually went back to rewatch the particular clip from the episode where Miranda goes over to the loft to get Christian, but sees that Calvin is having a tough time with the swag bags for the Wipe Me Down block party. And during the scene, which I played the relevant clips at the beginning of this video, you have Miranda and Calvin both having a moment where they misinterpret what the other one is saying, almost in an innuendo sort of fashion. It's like, I'll never make it without you. Give it to me, Calvin. What? Huh? And the photos that are on screen now display a bit more intimacy between them. I mean, it seems like Calvin, in the first picture, I'm probably going to have both of them on the screen at the same time. The one on the left, you kind of got Calvin looking like he probably said something slick, smooth, or sweet, and Miranda's kind of taking it in as she's looking, towards the sky. And then the second photo is when they are in closer proximity to each other and almost like they're about to have a moment there. And that doesn't seem to, and it seems these photos, or excuse me, this particular scene didn't make the final cut of the episode. I feel like they cut it because it was just too much, in that these two were about to, probably do something that they shouldn't be, especially with Calvin being engaged. But remember, what's her name? Veronica, from the episode Fine Wine last season, the realtor who Calvin signed the loft to be sold, and we haven't seen or heard from her since. I mean, this episode was really showcasing that Laura doesn't seem to have the same level of intuition or being in sync with Calvin in the way Miranda was. And it kind of makes sense. I saw this meme a couple days ago about how it seems that everybody's hooking up with their exes. I would rather crap in my hands and clap. I know that's a bit graphic, but I know from my personal life, I've seen at least 3 people in the past month who have gotten back together with their exes for some reason. I know one, got cheated on. Another one has a baby mama, and then another one was like a deadbeat freeloader, but yet for some reason they gravitated towards each other again. The only reason I know is because they post that stuff on social media. But I'm just saying that it's not uncommon nowadays for, what's that saying? Sometimes it's best to stay with the person you're with, because there's nothing out there. Like sometimes, one or both parties in a relationship decide, you know what, I'm ready to end this. I'm ready to move on, see other people, this kind of thing. I wanted to get a divorce. I want to break up. But then they go out there and then they find out the dating pool, first of all, is nothing like how it was when they were originally, dating before marriage. And then it turns out, despite the hardships of their relationship, they never found another man or woman like who they had before, because getting someone to know you all over again is quite the task. And I feel like that's what was demonstrated in the episode when you saw how differently Laura and Miranda responded to Calvin's desperation because he was completely in over his head when it came to the swag bags. You had Laura, who was too busy, I believe people were calling it clout chasing online, for likes and whatnot, and being completely unaware or not really able to read that Calvin was in desperation and needed her to be in the moment to help him, as opposed to posting selfies. And then you have Miranda, who just swooped in, and I'm not saying that like, oh, here she go barging in. No, she was just there to pick up their son. And Calvin said, oh, wait, I'm sorry. I'm busy with these bags, so I left them with my parents. And before she even left, she immediately like, hey, no. She made a joke about parking tickets. Then Calvin forgot, like, look, before I leave, you're going to give me those tickets to make sure they get paid so you don't get in trouble. You could tell they were back into wife and husband mode because Miranda knows Calvin that well. So I think this scene, in a way, I'm glad it didn't make the cut, because you know how I've always said this about House of Payne. There's somewhat of an inconsistency, or I don't really know what happens behind the scenes when it comes to the order in which these episodes get released. And it just really gets annoying when you have an episode like this where Calvin and Miranda are a freaking team, a well-oiled assembly line, but then the very next episode you see them interact, Miranda's acting bitchy, Calvin's being completely unreasonable, usually it's Miranda, and it's just like, wait, did we just forget what happened 3 episodes ago? Well, what's going on here? So, seriously, the Miranda we saw in this episode, I couldn't believe was the same Miranda in that one episode. I'm going to be honest here. It's been such a long time. I forgot what it was. It Wandering Prince or whatever it was. The episode where Miranda out of nowhere wanted more child support. So, we'll just have to wait and see how things play out. Like I've said before, it seems quite obvious that these two may find their way back to each other. But remember, I did the video about the character description or cast description, where we know for a fact that Laura's parents are going to show up, and they're at first, charmed by Calvin, but then as soon as they find out he has 2 kids by 2 women, or 2 different women, they're not going to be so fond of their daughter marrying him. So I'm very curious how that's going to play out. And I do believe that's going to be in season 12, not even season 11. So it seems, the whole engagement, wedding preparation is just going to be stretched out for quite a while. And during that time, will we see more Miranda and Calvin interactions? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. But like I said, in season 10, I would hate for them to get back together, especially with the way Miranda's been written for the past 2 seasons. Not at any fault to the actress. It's the fact that season 9 was just awful to Miranda. Season 10, she was better, but she had those moments where it's like, okay, are we still doing this? But so far in season 11, she's been pretty okay. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Are you team Laura? Are you team Miranda? Or do you think Calvin just needs to slow his ass down and work on himself first? But let's have a conversation. But thanks so much for tuning in. Hope everybody's doing well. Make sure you take a moment, hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. Hit subscribe and hit the bell icon to select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post content on the channel.